Hey, Scott, the streaming conscious of poker guy here. Very excited about today's episode. We're going to start off with a daily blitz. I haven't done this for you guys. I can't really talk during it, but you're going to get an idea. This is one of those things that World Series of Poker gives you to win chips. If I do well, I'll win up to maybe 2 million chips. If I don't do well, I'll get skunked. So I'm going to jump right in. You guys will see what I do. I'm going to back myself out of your way here. I'm so sorry. There we go. All right. So Daily Blitz is this guy here. And what it is they're going to put a bunch of cards up on the screen. Now, the clock won't start until I start. But I have 30 seconds to get as many of these as I can. So you'll notice there's 5 cards across the top. And then there's 2 whole cards at the bottom. I have to decide, or we all have to decide, what are the best. Now, your eyes will normally go right to the Jack 8, but you'll see that the 2-5 is a straight. So I'm just going to pick the 2-5, and then the clock is going, so I'm going to do the best I can, and here I go. Nine king, 6-9. Look at all those diamonds, that's a flush. Queen 6 and a pair of 8s, and it's another flush. 5 ace and 9-4, it's another flush.
And it better not be wrong.
King ace and 5-10, that's 4s, 2, let's see, what's the high card?
Time's up, baby.
Up, I didn't get it, but it just won 1,247,413 free chips. So I suggest you always play your daily blitz when it comes up on your screen. You did pretty good. I didn't get any wrong. But you got to be quick. So I suggest you look at the whole cards at the bottom and then try to figure out what is going on at the top. Flushes are hard to see. 2 pairs hard to see because what they'll usually do is they'll give you two pairs. And seeing the higher 2 pair is never easy. Or they'll give you a pair on one side, say a pair of jacks, but on the other side you got a king 3, and then you miss the king up on the upper line, and that would have been the higher pair. You'll play and you'll see what I'm talking about if I'm not making sense. This is going to be my last episode about quests. I happen to know that our first quest is to play just 10 hands. I'm going to play them very conservatively, as if I was teaching you how to actually play poker that was worth money. But I want you to take a look today at something for me, because I have been playing without you guys a little bit, and I know I'm getting cut off, I'm sorry. But if you look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see 3,073,000,000 chips. So we've got a very, very large stash of chips to essentially use the World Series of Poker as sort of a simulator. You can't look your opponent in the eye, but you can get a feel for things if you follow what I'm doing. So we're just going to we're going to choose a table. I happen to know that the quest today is play 10 hands in the 30-60 tables. That's a 30,000, 60,000 small blind, big blind bet, right? And I'll buy us in at 4.5 million, which I typically do. They always make us wait, as you know, and again, while I'm talking about it, hit the subscribe, and I'm going to teach you some other things, but this will be the last episode about quests, as I said, because I think you get the idea. Play the wheel, you got to play the video poker, you got to play the daily blitz, and you got to collect all kinds of cards, and a lot of free chips will come your way. All right, so it's day after tomorrow's July 4th. Today's July 2nd. You can see they got their Hooray America colors on the table. And let's just see while they're kibitzing at the table that we're not involved in. Let's see, total hands played at this point, 21,902. And we are still at king 3. And here we go, and we're not in yet. Probably one more hand, usually takes a couple of hands. Also notice, I like to count how many players are on the board. I'm counting, I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll be number 9. 9 players at a poker table is great for big pots, and it's also good for driving certain people out. There may be a seasonal quest that says you garner three, showing three people the door, meaning you closed out three people's chips and they didn't come back. And that earns you a quest, which usually involves like a daily blitz or a spin of the wheel or whatever. All right, the streaming consciousness is starting. I feel the juice is flowing because I feel we'll get some cards on this next hand. Here they come. All right. Ooh, nice American flag cards today. A 10-5. Let's just see who comes around the table. Xana is going to check. John Spillman's going to check. Valnar, Zeev, Steele, and Drummer Dog will check. Here come the cards. A pair of jacks, a queen, and a 10 and a 5. What do we got? Well, I'm just, if there's no money to be bet, I'll just check. All right, so we'll see what comes around. Because I don't think I have a particularly good hand right now, but if it doesn't cost us anything to get another card, which it doesn't, we'll go ahead and check. And now we got a 9. So now we got a 9, 10, jack, queen, possible straighting. We'll need an 8 or a king. We're definitely going to stay in. Somebody's got a 540,000 chip bet. We'll see if it climbs as it gets around the table. Xana, how about you? Nothing from you. Okay, you're out. Johnny, Spillman, what are you going to spill? Nothing, you're out. Well, folks, what do you think? I think we'll stay in, right? Okay, because we got a chance at pulling an 8 or a 10, and we pulled a 6. So we essentially have nothing. Unless our 10 is the highest card at the table, then at least we have a pair of jacks. But I don't think it's worth $1.2 million to find that out. Do you? I don't. So we're going to fold. And it looks like dime is going to win before the showdown because the hand didn't finish. So here we go. Queen 10, not bad, but not suited, right? Not bad, not suited. We'll see what the number is. It comes around at 60, so we'll stay in. I like to stay in at least for the big blind amount if I don't have great cards. Pair of 7s and a 5. Well, we still have a high queen. So if our queen's the highest card at the table, we essentially have a pair of 7s. But keeping in mind, it's Texas Hold'em. Everybody's got a pair of 7s. So we'll see what it costs us as it comes around. Who's got the baton? Let's see. Zeeb's got it. It's to me and it's a check. So we'll stay in for another card. Look at that. We got 10s and 7s. Now, I think that's time for us to raise since nobody raised the bet coming around. So it's going to come to us. We're going to bet, let's go 540. We'll keep it conservative because we're just here to play the 10 hands for the quest and not lose a lot of chips. See if anybody stays in. We got one in taker and, we got a full boat, my friends. So we're going to go ahead and really raise it up. We'll go to 1.8 million and we'll probably chase some people away, which it looks like we did. But I'll take the 1.25 million. And here's a new hand. King Jack, not suited. But you know what? We'll go ahead and call the big blind number at 60K. We have something to collect up here. I'll get to that in a second. Pair of kings. I like that. Now, I don't know if you guys know me. Whenever I have a pair, I always like to go to the 1 million mark. So I'm going to bet $1 million on my pair of kings, especially since I'm holding a jack. And I got 2 cards left to play. So let's see who that keeps in. Oh, somebody's going to call me at 1-2. Okay. Or raise me. Sorry. I've been raised $1 million. So, this is always somebody trying to poke the drummer dog. So we're going to call. I still got a pair of kings. I'll check you. $4.5 million pot, not bad. Not bad. Let's see what we got. Oh, he wants me to call it. I feel like I'm being bluffed, my friends. I'm going to check and see what I got. Dime is trying to bluff me, but Dime had 2 pair. Thank you, Dime. Very nice. You schooled me. Very, very nice. So whenever I get schooled by somebody and they're not bluffing me, I'll call that. I like to send them a card. So I'll send Dime a card because he beat me fair and square. Now, coming back to the table, you'll notice I've got ace, 2, 3, 4. I got possible straighting, but only one card helps me, a 5. I'm going to stay in. He's thanking me for the card. I only give it to people who school me, like when I think they're bluffing me and I stay in and I lose another $1 million or 2, I buy them. I say, kudos, here's a card. It buys some goodwill, I think. All right, we got a pair of something. We got a pair of 4. So we still don't have that 5. Let's see if anybody raises it up. Raises this pot up over 1.32. So I don't think it's worth spending the 780. Remember I said we're going to play conservative. So I'm going to check out. Of course, they took it on the showdown, so we won't know if I would have pulled the 5 out of the deck, which I feel better about. Jack 3, unsuited, not great. We're going to go ahead and call, though, because I like having a jack. We'll see what the flop brings. You know, bring me to the flop. Take me to the flop. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Come on. All right, we don't got nothing. All right, we got 2, 3, 4, 9, and a jack, which is not a lot. So you know what, just for fun, I'm going to fold. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab our little goodie that I haven't grabbed. We have a bonus waiting for us, price 337,000 chips. Always collect your chips. Always collect your bonuses. If you try to do it while the hand is going on, it'll sometimes kick you out and you won't know. Anyway, so far it's a good fold. Good fold. Good fold. Fold. Oh, not food. Not food. Good fold. I like to tell people it was a good fold. Somebody's got a flush. Somebody's got a flush. Oh, somebody has a straight. No diamonds on the table. Well, there you go. That's awfully strange. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got a queen 7, not suited. Let's see if it comes around and they ask us for any more than 60. No, we'll check. All right, well, that doesn't look so bad for us. So a 9, maybe a jack. We got some possible straighting here. But again, we're playing the quest, which I will talk about in 1 second if we don't stay in the hand. And for 450,000 chips, I don't think I will. But I will show you, we've now played 5 of the 10 hands. And then after this, it'll go to 6. So we only got 4 more hands to go. And we will have done a quest. And that will be, like I said, the last quest that we do before I get into real strategy. That's why I'm playing conservative now. If you guys remember some of the other shows, I just go all in just for the hell of it, burning through chips for you all, but not today. This is a good lesson on conservative play. And I like to keep my powder dry for when I got a pair of something or suited face cards, that sort of thing. So here we are into hand number 6. We've got queen 3 suited. So we're looking at possible flushing. I have flopped a flush on the, I have pulled a flush on the flop. So we'll just stay in, but not this time. We're not going to flop that flush. But we do have possible straighting. A 4 helps us, a 7 helps us, a 2 helps us. Queen jack, not great, but if some other face cards come out, like another jack or a queen, that's great. Should we spend the 300 grand? I'm going to say for one more card, we'll spend 300 grand, okay? Because you'll notice we're almost down to the 890,000 chip mark, so it's not going to make any difference. We're going to re-up anyways. I'm just trying to get us through these 10 hands so that we can look at the quest. All in with a Q3, no, not going to do it. That's just dumb. I don't want to give my money away when we're playing conservatively. Remember, there are all times when you just have a gut feeling. Ignore it. There are odds. Right now, I'm looking at good fold, right? I would have gone all in. I would have just given away almost 900,000 in chips, and there's no point. There you go. Pair of 5s. Somebody's got something else on the table, gives them 2 pair. There you go. Jacks and 5s, 6 and 9s. I mean, everybody, 2 different 2-pair winners on that table. King 2, not suited. We'll see what happens. I like a king. I like kings and queens for some reason. I feel like they're more plentiful than aces, but of course they're not. There's only 4 of each, but we'll go ahead and call the 120. Why not? Why not? All right, coming around. Build the pot a little bit. At least I got a king. And you can always flop a king too. You can always flop a couple of kings or a couple of 2s. But you really got 2 cards at the opposite side of the spectrum, right? Not suited, king, 2. Oh, look at that, king 2. I now have a 30% chance of hitting another 2 or a king in the next 2 cards, giving me a full house. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise when it comes around. It wants me to go all in, 772,000. I'm going to go all in. Somebody could have the other pair of kings for all I know, and then they got a pair of kings too. I'm already all in, so we'll see what happens. I get to go on autopilot. 2 cards coming. There's the queen. Let's see what's happening. More bets, more bets, more bets, more bets. I'm looking good with 2 pair, but you never know. 2 pair is not the strongest hand on a table like this. Clearly, there could be some straighting. There could be somebody with a couple of queens. A 3 of a kind will beat my 2 pair. but I feel good that I'm in on a good hand, and we'll see. If I win, I deserve to win. If I lose, I deserve to lose. It's 19 million in chips. Let's see if they give me any of it. No, there's a flush on the table. So let's see. Gecko won 16 million chips. Very nice, Gecko. Very, very nice. Now I like what I got. I got a 9-10 suited. All right. Which puts me in a good position not only for a straight, but also for a flush. So I'll go ahead and take the 1.4, stay in the game. And I love to see that little green guy dive away when the cards come out. But now I've got 9-10 Jack. It's certainly building towards something good. What the hell? For you guys, all in today. We'll see what happens. Nothing. So that's why you play conservatively. Okay. That was fun, though, wasn't it? It was a nice fast hand, and we're getting close to 10. Where are we? We're on the last hand of the 10-hand quest. We've got a Jack 2 unsuited. We'll call as we come around to the big blind. And we got a pair of 3s and a 4 on the table. Not great. Not great. But you know what? We're going to, if it doesn't come around asking for a raise, we'll go ahead and, it's ridiculous. So we're just going to fold this hand. That will have been 10 hands for us, and then we'll talk a little bit on the other side of this hand. I just want to see. Sometimes they like to put a 5 and a 6 out there, or an ace and a 5, and then I think W SOP is fixed. But now a good fold. Yay! We did the right thing, and we'll come away with a few million in chips. All right, now you're going to notice that immediately it's going to deal the next hand, and that's fine. But you know, somebody's got a 3 of a kind on the table. It ain't us. We just had a Jack 2. Somebody's got a better hand than us, okay? And Dime really is playing a good game right now. So you'll notice our claim button is lit up. We've got an ace 6, so we'll go ahead and hit the call. We'll hit the claim. We'll claim now. There's our card. There's a lot of spades on the table right now, and we've got a pair of 6s. We're going to say sweet. We're going to check this hand here, and we'll see what happens on this. Will be the last hand that I play because it already started, took my money. So it's not looking great for us, friends. Not looking great for us, this hand. So far, just a pair of 6s, but if W SOP is kind, they'll give us another 6. I'll bet the 300. Why not? If we pull a 6, then we're going to see that, so we're out. All right, we're going to check fold this. I just want to see who wins the hand. Great. And I am off to the lobby. And you're going to see now, we are on to the second quest. And the second quest is going to ask us to bet 20.72 million chips. We'll see. I'm going to do for you in just a second, but not on the card table. What I did want you to see, excuse me, is this special quest over here. You see how it says new? So I believe we have satisfied one of these special quests. Let's see. Oh, we haven't. Not yet. We need another album pack. But what I want you to see is that when you satisfy one of these special quests, you get these spins of the wheel down here. You get 800,000 bonus chips for whatever. No real reason, right? I mean, 800,000 chips is pretty good. You can spin the wheel. You can play more daily blitz, which is good for sharpening your poker skills and the like. So how are we going to satisfy this next season quest and bet 20 million in chips? We're going to go and we're going to open the wheel. Now, the wheel will almost always, if you're a billionaire chip holder like we are, I mean we, you, and me, we would go ahead and just hit the spin and not realize it's set to 100 million. So I don't like that. I'm going to take it down to 10 million. And then the wheel's going to spin. Now, it'll let me stop it, and I'll hit the stop for fun. And our 10 million chip spin earned us 4 million. So that was just a 6 million spin. I don't even care about that. Now we're going to spin again. See what happens. I'll let it stop this time. That was 0. We got nothing on that. So this is just cost us chips. We're down to a paltry 3.048 billion. So hang on tight because, well, it's not going anywhere. So, but what does that mean? That means if you come back to the season quest, you'll now notice that we are at 20.36 million of the 20.72 million. So we're now going to make another bet. We're just going to bet $1 million this time just to get us over the top. I'm essentially buying another quest. I'm showing you how to buy another quest without playing cards. Okay. Now, you'll notice that now the claim button is up and we've got another season quest to claim. Claim now. And since we're not on the table, it's not rushing us through. So now I need to win 13.2 million chips. It'll let me do it playing any table. I can go to the high-end table. I could win that in one hand on some tables. All right, or you can do it on the slot machine. I'm not a big fan of the slot machine unless I want to get to another quest. But I hope that helped you today understand why the quests are so important. Okay? So, I'm Scott. This is my streaming consciousness of poker using the World Series of Poker gameplay as our simulator. I've earned over 3 billion chips without giving them a dime, meaning World Series of Poker. And I know you can too. So come with me and build your vast poker chip stack for free, and we'll have a lot more fun. This will be the last one where I talk about quests. I might allude to them during gameplay, but from now on, my streaming consciousness will be about gameplay and strategy going forward. Hit the subscribe. Have a beautiful 4th of July.